friends, from a rainy day here in Bali. I want to make a video that I've been thinking about a lot, and I can't think of a more appropriate time to do it because, well, it's kind of festival time here, and we have holidays coming up also. Well, it's a kind of a busy season, but the holiday period is supposed to be one of reflection and introspection and connection to your religion or whatever it is you do. So that's what kind of motivated me to do this. Now, what's the topic of today? The topic of today is, what is the purpose of drumming? What is the purpose of all those hours of practicing, all those years, all that effort? What do you do it for? What is your role in society? That whole thing has been lost, on the internet. We are lost, baby. At least, the people that really go for all the submersion into YouTube. That your function on this earth as a musician is this. You are supposed to be that. You are supposed to be a witch doctor. You are supposed to be a witch doctor. That's been your role traditionally since the beginning of time, in the beginning of culture and societies. You take your drum and whatever, and you're the shaman. You're the one that brings people together and puts them in touch with that which is unseen, unfelt. You cannot feel it with your touch. You can only feel it inside. You can hear it, perhaps, if you're lucky enough. And it makes you aware of all the things that in life are the deepest things. The things that matter the most. The things that are going to guide your life in a very deep way. That's what your role is. Your role has been subverted into basically a clown show, a freak show. Somebody who flips out and plays as fast as they can. Oh my God, and stick twirling and as fast as humanly possible, and playing with a metronome at 200 BPM. I can play. That's so far removed from music. I can't even begin to, fathom why people do that to themselves. All I can think of is they've never experienced music. Maybe they even hate music. They hate drumming. So they turn it into a giant freak show for their ego. That's all I can think of. This is your role. You are the protector, the person who chases away the demons. That's the function of these statues. This is another temple in here. I don't know if I'm allowed to be in here, so I'm not going to push my luck. But it's another temple that they're building for the upcoming holiday. There's a lot of this spirituality stuff going on this island. Okay? And I can tell you the results of it. The results of it is it's a peaceful place. It's people that are more peaceful. I hardly see road rage, for example. The road rage I do see is Westerners that have rented scooters and they fight with each other. but I rarely see, you know, Balinese people arguing over traffic with each other. You know, very rare. In case somebody does something really crazy, then maybe they'll exchange a few honks, you know, on the horn. But I think that it's just a different life, and the way that the Balinese people interact with the spiritual side of things, it just makes them happier. You know, I've seen brutal poverty. I've seen people living in shacks, you know, and things that will just make you question, you know, what the hell, you know. I have all these things. I'm so lucky, you know. I have a proper food. I have a water and whatever. But you know, still we are unsatisfied. Your role is to be that connection between the world of the unseen and the physical world. That's your role. Your role is not to be a freak online, playing as fast as you can to get views. Man, what? I mean, how far removed from music is that? It's so far removed that it's not even a joke. You know, it's just like, what? It's like a big question mark on top of my head, you know, top of everybody's head. And it's something that's just been bothering me a lot. You know what? Like I said in another video, hey man, I saw Tony Williams live so many times. And when you go to his concerts, he would sit there, you know, he'd come out on the stage and he'd sit there for 5, maybe sometimes 10 minutes, just sitting there and just looking at the drums, looking at the people, taking in the moment. And in the room, after a few minutes, you could hear a pin drop, man. You could hear a pin drop, okay? Everybody was focused on what was gonna happen. And when that first note happened, it was like a burst of magic had hit the air. A burst of something very special, very sacred had hit the room, and everybody was just like transformed, okay? Transported. That's what you're about. That's what you should be doing. It doesn't matter how fast you can play. Only in the imagination of children does that count, okay? The value of that is zero unless you apply it in a musical way, all right? Let's go down this alley because it's a little quieter. I've never been down this alley. Let's see what's at the end of it. I saw Buddy Rich live, man. It was a transcendent experience. It was something that just knocked you out. And you would think about it. You would think about when Tony played, when Buddy played, all these guys played, you know, you would think about it for days afterwards. You would sit there and just be blown away, okay? You can't do that with the little knowledge and the little world we live in online. You have to be a part of that, man. And how do you become a part of that? You have to be a bigger, a wider human being. Your scope of humanity has to be wider. Your awareness of things has to be deeper, much deeper. Your connection to the instrument and what it represents in society and life has to be very, very deep. You can't just like, you know, noodle around and what is that? That's zero. We're at zero with that stuff, okay? Now perhaps it's my place now to say these things, because even another friend of mine told me, you know, your role on YouTube maybe is to be an elder statesman. I don't even feel elder. I don't feel elder. But maybe it's my place to say these things, because so many guys have not had the chance to see, you know, people like Buddy or Dick Burke or even Roy McCurdy, you know, my teacher, or Joe Poe. They haven't had the chance to see them live. They never will. We all know why. And, you know, they're just not. Some of them are not here anymore, and that transcendent experience is forever gone. You know, I almost get emotional when I think about those times, because what happens is that penetrates your playing. It becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your sound, and you can't reproduce that. You can't do exercises for that. You have to have lived it. You have to have been in front of Buddy, been in front of Vinny many, many times. You have to have sat there at the baked potato so many times and watched Vinny live, and that sound and the power and the subtlety, and that's so far removed from these guys, you know. Oh my God, traffic is insane today here in Ubud. Traffic is pretty bad in Bali right now, and you know, just walking around makes me go back inside. There's a guy right now, but I've said this in another video too, that posted a video, a reaction video, right? A reaction video is what you do when you have nothing else to say or to play in drumming, because you reach your limit of what you can do, and what just repeating yourself like a trained seal. That's why people do reaction videos. They want to react to someone else. Oh boy. This guy in his reaction video, the title of his video was something like, "This kid outplayed every pro in the world and became famous." I just went mad. This guy is in Europe, you know, so obviously he's never, ever seen Tony Williams play. He's never seen Kendall Kay, a great jazz drummer in LA. He's never seen, you know, Gary Novak live playing his butt off in a dingy club. He doesn't even know who's around. He doesn't even know what professionals are around. But he's Mr. YouTube with millions of views. And, you know, promoting total ignorance and stupidity. I was so close to writing this guy, man, but I held back. I held back because I really didn't want to have to deal with him, or maybe any of his fans, you know. But it was so sickening to me that I really, man, I almost wrote to him. I really held back. I just wanted to say, how can you say this ridiculous stuff, man? What is your major malfunction, buddy? Have you ever even gone to a concert? I'm like, have you ever gone to a concert? Or only stay online and watch, you know, internet videos in your basement? So it's weird. I remember when I used to play soccer all day long. This is your role, okay? This is who you should be, the protector of souls. Ganesh, the protector of artists, the opener of doors. These are things you should be in touch with, not playing with a metronome 200 BPM singles with open close technique or finger technique. Give me a break, man. Where are we? What's going on? We need to find our way back from this stuff. I remember being in jazz clubs, right? And people playing with the audience, almost everybody had their eyes closed, omitting the visual aspect of the concert and just listening, okay? There's lots of kids playing soccer here, so, you know. Unfortunately, I can't record in peace, but let that be a part of life. Let that be the annoyances, the imperfection of everything. Let that be something that we have to get used to, because we can't control everything unless we're in some, you know, studio, locked up in a studio. I hate that. I like to make these walking videos because life is everywhere. And in the very light that you see, in the very chaos that you see, is rhythm everywhere. The banging of the hammers, the cars passing, the speed of the cars, the clouds, the sun, everything is rhythm. I don't like being locked up in a studio talking about blah, blah, blah. So boring. Okay. With all this in mind, remember, be connected to music. Go see live music, for God's sake. Go see some great players. Don't sit there, you know, and watch guys online only. I mean, it's a great substitute if you have no option whatsoever. But to rely solely on that is not being a musician. It's being a consumer of online content. Okay, you gotta go see live, man. You gotta let it all be a part of you and sink into your bones, and let the sweat of that drummer, if you're fortunate enough to sit next to him, you know, right next to him, hopefully the sweat is gonna fall on you and you're gonna let go like this, and the breathing and the moaning and the power. That's gonna be a part of you forever when you go play again, okay? There's such a huge difference in players that have experienced that and players who haven't. Okay, amongst the chaos here, that's what I wanted to say. Traffic unbearable today. I'm back at my cafe where I work. And going to peacefully edit this video now. This is your drum set. Little temples are everywhere in Bali. That's your symbols. That's your symbols. This whole thing is your drum set. People come to be in touch with that which they need the most. Okay? They don't need you to be a Las Vegas showgirl dancing with no clothes on, with feathered outfits, stick twirling and, you know, all that junk. That's not profound. That's superficial. That's show. That's a show. You're a Vegas showgirl. You're a trained seal in the circus. You know, I don't know what else to say. Okay. Let's say hi to the girls. Hi, girls. How you all doing? Are you celebrating the holidays?
Celebrating the Christmas.
Are you a Christian? Why are you celebrating Christmas? Oh well. I think it's well. Look who's here, my dear friend, Nuri. She is my favorite waitress here at Sayuri. Why? Because she's so nice to me. Sometimes she's mean to me. I'll be sitting there for half an hour, no service, nothing, right?
Who says? No!
I'm just joshing you. Why do you got your Christmas thing on?
Our manager very good.
Oh, your manager made you do it,
Yeah.
right?
It's special for Christmas, you know.
Yeah.
Celebrate the Christmas.
Are you a Christian?
No, but I'm tolerant, you know.
You're tolerant. Okay. That's usually what we hear on the other side of the planet, because so many Christians, you know. Are you Christian? Yeah, but I'm tolerant of whoever else, you know. So it's funny to hear you the reverse, you know. I'm tolerant of Christians. It's really funny. What are you?
Every religion is beautiful, you know.
It is. What are you? What are you? Hindu?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're Hindu. Almost everybody in Bali is Hindu, I think.
Mostly Balinese.
Mostly Balinese people, yeah,
Yeah,
are
but
Hindu.
Hindu.
In Jakarta, it's Muslim, a lot of Muslims in
Muslim and
Jakarta.
Christian.
Yeah. And Christian in Jakarta. Okay. Well, I'm very happy to be in Bali. My friend here, my dear friend. And I'm going to get back to work now, editing this video. See you guys very soon. Bye, Nuri.
Bye-bye.
Let's go.
Buenos días, si son de día yo. Buenas tardes, si son de tarde yo. Buenas noches, si son de noche yo. A cualquier hora viene Francisca la hora. A cualquier hora viene Francisca la hora. Conga. Buenos días, si son de día yo. Buenas noches aquí, buenas noches allá. Saludando aquí, saludando allá. Buenas tardes, si son de calle. Como soy tan chiquitico, todos me dan con el pie. Deja que yo sea grande y me sepa defender. Buenas noches, si son de noche. Ay, yo. Llama a Francisca, mi conga, llámala. A cualquier hora viene Francisca.
Hi friends, I'm here to tell you about an exciting new program I have on my lesson site. It's called the Elite Program. In this program, you're going to be working with me very, very closely while I guide you through the entire site. The Elite Program. Why do I call it that? Because I'm searching for the most dedicated people to study this material. If you want to be a professional drummer, you're going to have to change your life. You're going to have to put drums ahead of everything. And I'm here to make sure that that decision is something that's going to benefit your life in the most positive way it can. Some websites have guest artists that come in and show you some stuff for about an hour and then they leave and you never hear from them again. You're stuck with the guys on the site that may or may not have much experience at all. In this program, you're going to be working with me directly. 3 hours a day for an entire week online, okay? We're going to be having conference online, video conference, 3 hours a day for a week. In this week, I'm going to guide you through everything, prepare you. I'm going to watch you play. I'm going to watch you practice. We're going to work together on things in the moment, okay, which is very important. Now, why the price, you may ask? Well, an online video session with me usually costs $270 for 2 hours. A private lesson with me in New York costs $100 an hour. A lot of guys charge a lot more than $100, maybe $200, $300 an hour. My price is $100 an hour. I think that's fair. So if you take that many hours with me, okay, 7 times 3, that's 21, that's $2,100. The price of the course is $1,900. So you're already saving $400 by doing it this way. $400 savings. Plus, you have the full year membership to the site with email support, Skype support, and everything else. This unique study situation has been brought about by the technology we enjoy today. Before, you would have had to travel to New York, hang out with me, come to my house, you know, have all those expenses of going to New York, which many guys have done. But now we can do things in a much more, let's say, efficient basis, more economical, and a way that you can be constantly in touch, not only having me in New York there while you're there. Okay, so this is, I think, an amazing opportunity to study. I've taught at some of the best drumming institutions in the world. That's not something that everybody can say. And I have all that knowledge right here waiting for you. If you're serious about your drumming, the lesson site is there. And I'm there as well, ready to make sure you get the most out of the drumming experience and having drums in your life. Okay? I hope you will check out the Elite Program. The most innovative curriculum there is comes from having the experience from teaching all over the world, drummers at every level from the highest drumming cultures on the planet. What you're going to need to participate is a way to interact with me online. You need to have a drum set up with your camera, your phone, or whatever. It has to sound halfway decent, and a good Wi-Fi connection so we have uninterrupted streaming. Now, as far as the price goes, if you use PayPal, you can break up the payments. PayPal offers you a variety of ways you can pay. You can use your credit card, and if you don't have access to those things, just write me and we'll figure out a way. But this is a very important program and I think you're gonna love it. It's not a common opportunity to study drums, so I hope you'll take it and make the best of it. All right, folks, see you on the Elite Program. Peace.